number 3. After you've guessed your best guesses and written them down, just do it. Just do it. There is as much danger in navel gazing and guess writing as there is in doing too little of that. A plan is not a plan until you start to do it. So don't talk the thing to death. Don't wait for the perfect moment to launch or to ask for financing or to expand or to hire your next person or to adopt a new packaging format. Don't wait for this program to be over. Just do it. The plans don't execute themselves no matter how good you are at accounting. And no matter how good you are at making guesses or putting them into a model or programming Excel spreadsheets. The bank and the angel investors and the friends and family, they're not going to come and ask you if you're ready for money. You have to go to them. You have to make an appointment and you have to ask. I am the queen of overwriting the plan. I brought visual aids, as you might guess from my little speech that I wrote too. I wrote this giant spiral-bound thing. This was our first expansion plan at Rising Tide. Fortunately, my husband wrote our founding business plan, or else we may never have been founded. But I wrote the first expansion plan, and it was this giant thing with lots of tabs and appendices. And I worked on it for months while I was still a lawyer and still had a paycheck to support the family. And I got advice from the SBDC and from lots of other folks, and I revised it and edited it and added more and more information. And then I went and presented it to the first bank. And they immediately asked me for a bunch of schedules that I'd never heard of and had never made. And I was crushed. Because this was perfect. I had worked on it until it was perfect. And it wasn't. They funded us anyway after I pulled together those spreadsheets and figured out what they were. And then the few other things that came up before we could actually close the loan. And then the few other things after that they needed to actually document it, to get the famed financing and the everything else to all actually work. So when we got to my second expansion plan that I wrote, it's 7 pages long. And I basically just included all the things that the bankers asked me for after I wrote this. When I went in and they said, oh, but what about these 4 things? That's what's in here. And so I wrote this and I gave it to them. And they still asked me for lots of other things, but not all of those pages. And we still closed the loan about 6 weeks after I had hoped. But spending more time writing the plan before I went to the bank wouldn't have helped that situation at all. So don't write it to death. Just do it.